Well, hello everybody, welcome to Red Tool House. On today's video, we're going to use some of this gas line pipe that I have all over the farm to help us out with netting our blueberries so the birds don't get them. So come check us out. Well, as you can see, I'm standing down here in the creek with electricity, which is always a good combo, and getting ready to cut gas line with a grinder, creating sparks. So we've got the trifecta going on today. Sparks, water, electricity, and gas. I guess that's more than trifecta, isn't it? Anyway, no. Fortunately, this gas line has been abandoned for a very, very long time. In fact, just about 50 feet down past the camera there was a section that I've already cut out way back when I was building a trailer tongue for our chicken coop. So this is a continuation of that pipe. The Red Tool House literally has, if there's not 20 miles, I'd be surprised of this stuff laying around. And it's 3-inch metal pipe. Obviously has some recycle value to it. It's just a matter of going through and cutting it and collecting it. It's pretty thick, goes through some grinding wheels. A lot of electricity. Obviously I'd have to take the generator and areas in the back, or take a torch, or there's always something to be some material. So, but today what we're going to do is we want to find some long sections, because these things, when they were laid out, of course, in West Virginia hills, there's some pretty crazy curves in some of this. But here's a straight section I have here. I'm going to cut it relatively straight. I'm going to cut out a section of that, and I need 2 poles to stick in the ground so I can stretch my cable across to hang my netting over the blueberry patch. So let's get to cutting. You can see this first spot right here is literally coming right out of the ground at this, there's some briar there. Right out of the ground at this little bench. There's actually a little rock face that slipped down over this. Gas company in the past really didn't mess with burying this stuff. They just laid it on the ground and really didn't give a crap. The trick is to not let the extension cord plug land in the water. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you guys can see the water fountain coming out of that right now. That's always reassuring when you're cutting a gas line. Fortunately, that just looks to be water. Maybe I should take a drink of it and see. As much rain as we've had this year, this may take a while. We see there's a breach in the line somewhere else. A little impatient there. Struck the mother lode. There it is. One end at least. Ouch. You're free. Good night. It's too much like work. Sucker's not light either. I bet she's every bit of 80 pounds, almost 100 pounds. Woo! apologize if my mic's picking up all my wind sucking that I'm doing, but I love it being 98% humidity, about 90 degrees. Try that again. All right, so arbitrarily that was 21 feet. So I'm going to cut this. I need about 10 feet. I can't just roughly cut it in half. It's one of those projects that seems simple in your mind. Think, yeah, this won't take long at all. You go to sit down to do it, and it kicks your butt. I wish everything was made like that gas pipe. Holy moly! Probably hotter than a $2 pistol, but that's easily, oh, it's not yet a quarter, but it's more than an eighth. So what's that, 3/16? That's some thick crap. Sorry, you Canadians will have to do your own metric conversion on that. Alright, so this is our blueberry patch. Needs to be weeded a little bit. We've had some loss. We planted 12 plants, and that used to be one right there where the horse nettle is. Unfortunately, my father-in-law got that one with a weed eater. These other two here and there, those two died. Everybody else seems to be doing all right. And you can see we've got a nice little crop of blueberries on that one. And we noticed the birds licking their lips, so we're going to have to set some netting over this. So the plan is to, we'll put a pole right there, and we're going to put a pole about right there where that little whatever's hanging off of that looks like a piece of plastic. Set a pole, run a cable across, and then I've got a large bird netting that we'll drape over, so we can have like a tent structure and bring it down even to the outside of the fences here. Okay, so we're going to use our trusty auger that I did a video review just the other day on. You can see that link here. And that's the trick about using these things on in West Virginia. We've got a little bit of hillside to deal with here, so we'll see if we can navigate this well. Have my lovely assistant holding down our electric fence wire there. What, baby? I need to go over it, see if the auger clears it. Walk a little closer to it. So obviously this hole we're going to dig is going to be a little bit sloped downhill simply because of the way my tractor's sitting. But that's just the nature of obviously digging holes on the side of a mountain. What we'll do is, we're putting a 3-inch pipe in a 9-inch hole, so we definitely have some play there. all right, babe. I'll get that. Don't worry about it. All right, you need to pull it. Yeah. Well, baby, that's all right. Look, all I want you to do is hold it back, but step back as far as you can. There you go. What? Get out of there. Oh yeah, that must be the early ones. Yeah, you're right, there's some. Oh, look at the size of this one.
Wait, don't you eat it first? I could eat it first.
Come look. You can have this first one. That's huge.
Take a picture.
You should, don't it? Spit it out. We got to take a picture.
I should take a picture.
Well, not after it's been in your mouth.
It was clean.
It's like, look at this blueberry that's been chewed up. That one was a little hard. Okay, so we got our holes dug, and take our poles here. I'm glad you got the good blueberry. Mine was bitter and hard. Oh, these things are heavy. Yeah. So the plan is, obviously, we'll stick that in the ground here on this side, and stick the other one on the ground that side. Now I'm not gonna set these yet, because what we'll do is we'll drill a hole right here through the top on both sides, roughly the same height from the ground. So that's why I gotta get them figured out as far as depth goes. And then I've got some 1/4-inch cable that will stretch across it. And of course, when you make it super tight, or not, it doesn't have to be super tight, it doesn't have to be under heavy tension. Tighten it up, and then I've got bird netting that will hang over. So again, it'll kind of be like a tent, and it'll hopefully protect our blueberries from the evil birds. So we saw this trick actually at a place called White Oak Farm, which is a really big, nice blueberry farm up in Renwick, West Virginia. Close to our camp. What is it, Kelly? About an hour from camp. And he has, what does he have? 20 acres or 40 acres? Do you remember? Under blueberries. Maybe, I think it's 20. We did a video on it. If you want to check it out, you can check it out right here. Talked to him about his blueberry farm. That is his sole income, is his blueberries, and it's really neat how Max and his wife raise blueberries that way. So we go up there every year and pick, usually around 4th of July. And we'll be up there again this 4th of July. So we'll probably post a follow-up video. Now let's just see if my cordless can drill through this, because this stuff is intense. Well, you hate that, huh? There we go. Ooh. All right. So our plan, and it's not that we got to be crazy accurate here as far as height goes, but I like it to be somewhat consistent. If our hole is roughly at minus an inch, that's why a person needs 3 hands. It's almost exactly 8 feet. So that'll be 1 inch lower than 8 feet on that side, on that pole. So let's fetch the other pole. Something to do with sun's position and gravity makes things heavier as the workday goes on. Okay, so we're looking for 8 feet from ground height. Somebody knew what they were doing when they were drilling holes and cutting pipe, didn't they? It's easier to carry the drill than carry the pipe. I'm going to kneel down here in all this poison ivy and we'll drill some holes. This drill bit kind of reminds me of your sister, Kelly. It's overly aggressive and takes big bites. She never watches these videos. And you got more than one sister, so nobody's going to know who we're talking about. Alright, so this cable we have here is it's actually the boys' old Zipline. They outgrew it, so it was a little 3/8 inch cable. And I put some clevis hooks on it to what I thought would be a good opportunity to skid a bit of logs, you know, something that was way up on the hill. I can drag it down and not be able to get logs that are on a real steep hill. It's just not enough, just not a thick enough cable. So I was kinking it too badly and getting knotted up. It's actually a pretty long section of cable. I think it's almost, should be what, 100 feet, Kelly? That's what the Zipline was. So we're going to sacrifice some of it for the greater blueberry good. In fact, we're waiting on Troy to be able to figure out how to undo these saddle clips. Check out redtoolhouse.com if you would, and sign up for our email newsletter. We're going to get the newsletter rolling back out again and kind of have a renewed effort. We've been kind of sporadic, but we're going to be a little more aggressive there. So redtoolhouse.com, you'll see a link. I believe it's on the right, it's on the bottom. It's on most of the pages there where you can sign up for our newsletter. And there we go. One hook. Oh. How many times am I going to have to move this pipe today? So we're going to not turn our butt to the camera. It's kind of funny, the other day I was using this cable to skid some brush, and the boys were helping me, and I asked Liam, I said, Liam, roll that cable back up so we don't get it all crimped. And he didn't understand, and I didn't do a good job explaining how you roll that stuff up. So I looked back, and he had that thing wrapped around his hand so tight. I mean, he was rolling it in a bundle, and that's 100 feet of cable. It's like, well, that's not going to work. Does anybody remember the rule on what you're supposed to do when you're using one of these clips? There's a rule of putting it together right and a rule of putting it together wrong, especially if you're using it for safety cable, where somebody could die. There was an old phrase Dad taught us, and it was, don't settle it. Let's try that again. It was an old phrase that Dad taught us, and it was, don't saddle a dead horse. And basically what that was, it was supposed to be a reminder to, can you get close to this, babe? It's supposed to be a reminder, if you look at this clip, underneath that, where the bolts are, that's the saddle. So don't saddle a dead horse means, so this would be the saddle right here, this area below the U. So that piece of cable is laying in the saddle. So what you do is you want to put the cable together in this manner, where the loose end or the dead end, that's what's the dead horse. You tighten that strap down that way. What you don't want to do is the opposite. You don't want to flip it over and have, let me show you here. Get it back apart. You don't want to come in this way. You don't want to come in this way. So now this is my loose end, or what's called the dead end. It's in the saddle. This is the live end is in the loop. So that's incorrect. That's called saddling a dead horse. And if you talk to loggers, you talk to heavy equipment operators, especially pipeline guys, where they got to cable up these dozers and dangle them over the sides of these mountains, you could get in trouble. And there's unfortunately been a lot of people, a lot of guys die over the years from things like that. It's just a simple safety neglect there. They just don't realize how they're putting these things together, and it makes it weak and it won't hold. So you want to be able to have the bite properly on these cables. Now I'm going less than 20 feet span here. So if I was going for a really long span, then I wouldn't have cut that cable off there. I would have had to have run it through and stake it in the ground like a tent stake, just to keep the poles from drooping into one another. I think with this short a span I'll be all right. The reason why I neglected to do that is I'd rather not have yet something else to have to mow around, or have something else for my wife to mow around. She's making faces at me behind the camera. You do the mowing? Just thinking of you, babe. It's all about you, isn't it? Got a little bit of sag in it, doesn't it? We'll remedy that. Alright, so we're going to, on this slope, climb on the flimsiest aluminum ladder in the world and see how that works out. Please come help. This has got viral video written all over it. Stand on that. Counter me. Be my counterweight. Do you get the feeling that the world's sinking? Yes, and I hate it.
I feel like I'm bending the ladder.
You are.
Huh?
You are. Please don't drop me. I don't want it. I'm too young to die. Let's do some displacement of weight here. Am I even in the shot this time? Risking my life and it ain't even being captured on video. It's doit. Okay, so we got a cable, and obviously it's not super taut, but again, we're not holding a lot of weight here. It's just going to be this netting. We'll stretch the netting over 50 by 30, I believe. But some dummy left it at the office, so it'll be another day before we can string it. But we'll be able to, like a tent, should have enough length, the 50 feet to go down either side. So even we'll drape it down the sides of the poles. And of course drape it down both sides of this span. Keep the birds out. Hopefully we won't come out one night and there'll be a deer wrapped up in it like a fly in a spider web. Be our luck. Yeah, blueberries will be all ripped up and he'll just be all tangled up. All right, so through the wonders of video editing and magic, you can see we've now, with a wave of a hand, we now have the blueberry patch all trimmed down, the grass cut, everything mulched. So obviously we've skipped a couple days. And yes, I am still wearing the same shirt. So I have my Chinese bird netting, which I'm not sure if it's bird netting made in China or if it's bird netting to keep out Chinese birds. What do you think? Okay, so this is a 50 by 50 single piece of bird netting, and we'll see how well this holds up. Comes in a Ziploc bag. If you're curious about this, if you're interested in it, I will post a link down in the video description that you can check it out on Amazon. I'm surprised how heavy this stuff is. Our game plan, of course, is to drape this over everything here so we can protect our bushes. I'm going to need some help from my lovely assistants. Gentlemen, join me in the patch, please. Okay. All right, so this is one of those that looks good on paper but doesn't really lay out the way you expected it to. So this netting, while being 50 by 50 and being a good price, get what you pay for. Very, very thin. I'm still going to post a link so you can check it out. I don't know that I'm giving it a recommendation yet. I noticed there's a couple little places where there's holes in it that would need to be tied up. It is the size. It's definitely bigger than what we need, but and it will keep birds out. My fear is actually it's going to trap birds. We may come in here and find all kinds of birds, deer, buffalo, all wrapped up in it. Yeah, exactly. We don't even have buffalo, so we'll just have to see how it goes. We'll document it if we catch anything strange in it. But at least we have it all around on the ground. Again, 50 by 50, covering everything on the ground. Birds should be kept out, but we'll see how long this stuff lasts. All right, take care, everybody.